right now, ma'am?
No, sorry. Food for less than down the road.
Okay. He told me he was finishing up his order.
Right, he went upstairs to get his stuff from his locker.
Were you hungry? Were you hungry?
Like an hour or
Yeah,
two.
see if she can bring a deli employee. Okay. And if you could send me a cashier or two, that would be great. Are you stalking me or something?
You good? I just got my stuff in
All right.
I'm rolling.
So at approximately 12 o'clock noon today, we received a call from our dispatch of shots fired at the Winco supermarket. We had a male by the name of Charles Scott, date of birth 9/1/94, and an unknown female at this time. We're trying to gather information as to attain her true name, and a approximate 6-month female baby that was with the female shopping. They were inside the store where they attempted to shoplift. They were met with loss prevention as they were exiting the store, who tried to stop and detain them. A fight broke out with loss prevention and the male suspect. During that altercation, the suspect pulled out a handgun and fired several rounds. The loss prevention was able to take him to the ground and detain him. No one was injured from the gunshots that were fired. A store employee who was coming in to work at the time was injured during the scuffle. We're not sure how. She has a minor scrape to her right elbow. She did not need medical attention. She was not transported. All subjects and suspects have been detained and apprehended. There's no one outstanding. None of the customers inside the store, no one was injured. Everyone's in custody. Everything is back to normal. The store is closed for the next couple of hours as the store does their own operations of what they need to do to reopen the store. Suspect was taken into custody. That's the male, Charles Scott, and the female is still being interviewed. We're trying to ascertain her true and correct name. The 6-month-old was taken to a nearby hospital just for observation to make sure that there's nothing wrong with the 6-month-old. And that is it. The suspect was transported due to his injuries with the fight that occurred with the loss prevention while they tried to detain him and take the gun and get the gun away from him. So, any questions?
Tris, can you give us an idea of exactly where in the store were they positioned? How far did they get to the front of the store, and were the shots actually fired inside the store or out front?
They were inside the store. I believe there's a little breezeway or vestibule that right outside the exit, there's where the carts are, and then there's another exit. So it was right in that little breezeway or vestibule, and that's where the altercation occurred, and that's where the shots were fired.
Any idea what these suspects were trying to steal? Was it like baby milk? Was it anything baby product?
We have no idea as to at this point what they were trying to steal. They were using the baby carrier to take and hide the items inside of, but as far as what those items were, we don't have a list of that. It's still an ongoing investigation, and they're still doing interviews with store employees and suspects.
And Trish, can you talk about the moment from the time that these people tried to walk out with the goods inside the baby carrier to the point where the loss prevention officers came up? How many officers were involved, and what was the skirmish like? What led to that skirmish? Were they trying to run out and grab them?
I don't have a number. I do not believe they went and tried to grab them or apprehend them. I believe that they made contact and told them, hey, we need to talk to you about some things that you might have in the carrier that were not paid for. And at that time, the male intervened and wound up pulling a handgun, and then that's when the fight broke out.
So it was the actual, it was the female suspect who was carrying the baby.
Yes, it was
with
the
female
female
items
suspect
inside the carrier.
Yes, it was the female suspect who originally was made contact with loss prevention. They contacted her because she's the one who had the carrier with the items that were taken.
And you, once again, have no idea what those items were.
No, we don't have a list or anything. We will be doing an update later with a press release of those items and to update the female suspect's name.
Where did the bullets end up? Were they shot up in the air? Were they shot down on the floor?
I do not have that information. Like I said, this is still an ongoing investigation, so they're still here retrieving some of the crime scene evidence.
Do these loss prevention officers carry weapons themselves?
I have no idea what Winco's policies are. You would have to speak to their management.
Can you talk about the surveillance cameras? They're everywhere. How integral is that going to be in this case?
I can't talk to you about their security or their cameras. I am not privy to how all that works, nor would I be commenting on that.
Can you talk about, here we are, middle of the day, there are probably hundreds of people in here. How extraordinary is it that these shots were fired and no one got shot?
It's a great thing. I can tell you that our deputy sheriffs were on scene 4 minutes from the time the call was entered till the time they were on scene. We had detectives here and we had our patrol, and they locked down the scene right away. So made sure that we did a sweep of the entire store. There was no injured patrons, anybody that was complaining of something, whether the excitement. I believe somebody was a little alarmed with everything that was going on and maybe was checked out for blood pressure, but we had everyone there in a timely manner and everything ended well, considering what could have gone wrong.
I think it's pretty heroic that these loss prevention officers were faced with a guy that has a handgun, fires the handgun, but they still had the presence of mind and the bravery to tackle this guy and bring him down. It looked like he had some wounds to his head, so they got into a rumble with this guy.
Well, I know it was a very intense fight, or altercation, as far as them trying to get the gun away from him and them trying to make sure that they had him detained so that he couldn't escape or leave or harm anyone else.
So there were at least 2 loss prevention officers in this skirmish with this suspect.
I know that there was at least 2 involved. As to how many and who, and if they were loss prevention or just store employees, I don't have all that information. I arrived on scene after everything was already controlled and locked down by our staff.
What happens from this point on? It looks like the Winco is still closed. Have you guys ended your investigation?
No, our investigation is still ongoing, and we'll, like I said, be doing an update on our press release with the female suspect's name and information, and any additional suspects if there are, found to be any others that are involved in this. I did talk with the store manager. He said it would approximately be another 3 hours before they reopen the store because they've got to do some internal things prior to being able to reopen.
Anything else you want to add that we didn't ask you about?
Nope, I think that's it.
You guys need anything?
Name one more time.
It's Trish, T-R-I-S-H. The last name's Trumpler, T-R-U-M-P-L-E-R.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Trish, you did a great job. Thank you.